We are both Air and Army. We also have the Army Reserves in the state of South Dakota. Our Family Assistance Center and our family program assists any service member, whether it's Navy or full-time or active duty, whatever it is, we will take the calls and we'll give them service. But I see a point where the Army has really taken a forward step and done an outstanding job in obtaining the funding, and the Air Force is also on board now. But I think we're forgetting about our Army Reserves. They're small, they're a smaller unit, they don't have probably the budget, and we've been working greatly with those groups in eastern South Dakota and giving them some of the briefs that we have. And we also try to let them know when we have our reintegration that we bring them on board with us so that they can be part of our programs too. But I think a funding issue would be to fund those other sides.
Well, I appreciate that, Captain Yost, and this is one of the things that Mr. Bozer and I heard in Indiana, is the reserve components, and especially when it's not the full component now, but individuals from different units in a smaller detachment going and mobilizing with others, and they're sort of falling through the cracks. The families are falling through the cracks. The individual reservists upon deployment in terms of accessing information, in terms of their employment rights, and other issues. So I appreciate what you're saying. I appreciate what the South Dakota National Guard and all of your leadership has done to fill the gap that I think existed for a number of years, where the Department of Defense was really only communicating about these benefits and readjustment programs to their active duty military, and left it to all of you to sort of make this up as we went along. And you've done an outstanding job being proactive. Your outreach has been tremendous, and we appreciate that here in South Dakota you're also reaching out to the reserve components. That's something I know we're looking into further to see what else we can do to assist those efforts here at the state level. One last question, and I'll turn it back to Mr. Bozeman if he has any follow-ups for Ms. Machetta. You had talked about the individual who had come here and heard how good the program, TAP program, was at Ellsworth. And then he suffered the heart attack. His spouse had attended TAP with him, and I failed to ask the three individuals from our prior panel if their spouses had attended TAP with them. But is that something that you actively encourage and recommend? Are there are you stretched for resources and that spouses can't maybe attend on their own? They have to come with the service member. And then also, is it a recent development where TAP has integrated the opportunities for service members to meet with civilian employers that are coming in? Is that something that has maybe happened in the past, but not to the degree you're integrating it now?
Okay, thank you. As far as spouses, by regulation, they've always been told they could come, but if they don't know, they don't attend. And so we actively sought them through commanders' calls and word of mouth. And we talked to them about specific benefits such as Workforce Investment Act and dislocated spouse programs, so that as we get them there, they see there's something for them, and they're also listening better for the member. And so that's really been helpful. In fact, Mark Koopman's wife was in attendance at the class, this last one, and Kim Geffrey's husband will be attending in the near future. And so as active duty couples, they'll attend separately sometimes. That's been really helpful. When I took the program over 2 years ago, we offered in the class a 1-hour block where professionals could come in and do some interviewing and help the folks with the practice interview. But what I found was that most people were terrified of doing an interview because they didn't know didn't have the resume done, they didn't know what kind of job they were looking for, and it was really not a positive experience. So now at the beginning of TAP, we make available to them hundreds of jobs that are open, actual position descriptions they can write the job for. And then after TAP, during lunch hours, and about 5 hours on Friday, we'll invite many, many different companies, some from as far away as Texas, to come up and actually do interviews, review resumes, and give them help. Some are local businesses, some are from all over the country, and so they have that opportunity to visit privately with hiring professionals and make sure they're ready. And it's just been wonderful. The businesses work with us and come up every 2 to 3 months, and they'll all take turns, and that's what we're about.
Mr. Bozeman, do you have any questions for him?
No, thanks, Madam Chair. Again, thank all of you for your service and great job of supporting our military.
And thank you for your work on behalf of our service members and our nation's veterans and the insights you've offered into transition assistance and the efforts that you've proactively undertaken. So thank you very much.